Alright, guys, so today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite action movies of all time, which is Taken. For those of you who have seen Taken, it's got Liam Neeson playing the main character. He's an ex-CIA agent or a spy. He's retired now, but his previous career has played a toll on his marriage. He's now divorced, but he has got a teenage daughter that he's trying to get close to again. As he's trying to work on this relationship, the wife who spites him, she and her daughter they're trying to get the father to sign a permission slip for her daughter to go overseas. Now the daughter's lying and she's saying she just wants to go to France. She's going to go with her friend and her whole family's going to be there. And just to what? Just to go to museums. I'm just going to museums, Dad. Like what? What's the big deal? Don't worry. But really, she's trying to follow a rock band all around Europe. Now her father's been all around Europe. This guy's ex-CIA. He says to her, "Listen, I don't feel comfortable with like a teenage girl going to this part of the world. It's very dangerous." Anyway, the mother holds her over his head, saying, "If you don't let her go, you're never going to reconcile with her. You already ruined your relationship. You want to make it even worse." And so he's like, look, he allows her to go with the condition that she's going to call him back each night. Now, she goes, she lands in France, and from the moment she lands there, she's already in trouble. They make friends with this guy. He's involved with the mafia. 5 minutes later, they get kidnapped, more or less. You guys have seen it. Now, we have that famous phone call scene that we all know about. And from that scene, he then pursues his daughter, her daughter's kidnappers, into Europe, and he's searching for them. He knows he's got a bit of a deadline before she's missing forever. And sequence after sequence, scene after scene, he's absolutely destroying everyone. He's going after her relentlessly, and it's why I love it. It's a mad action movie, yeah. The end scene is the part I want to comment on now. The end scene where he's on the boat and he's approaching her, and the fat guy's got the knife to her. Like this scene for me, as he ends it by killing the guy, he shoots him dead, and then it just goes quiet. And there's this quiet moment in the movie where they're both looking at each other, and the daughter's like, "You came for me," and he looks at her almost surprised that she would be like surprised that he came, and he said, "Well, I said I would." And then they hug, and she feels obviously relieved and safe and everything. And it was that exact scene that drew my mind to the prodigal son. It drew my mind to the prodigal son because for those of you who know the prodigal son, he lived a life of sin. Now, it's not an exact parallel with the movie, but the point is the exhaustion I saw on her face, that defeated look, it was what the prodigal son would have felt when the Bible tells us that he came to himself. There's a moment in our lives where we come to ourselves. We've been living away from God for so long. We've been living in sin. We've been eating with the swine. We've wasted all of our father's money. We're now broke. And we come to ourselves and we're like, when I was living with my father, when I was in church, when I was praying and reading my Bible, maybe as a teenager or as a child, how much better was my life? How much better was everything? Now I went and did things my own way, and I'm over it. I'm defeated. Sin has dragged me so low that I just feel like worthless. Now this is the feeling where you can either go one direction or the other. You can either go the route of Judas into self-destruction, or the route of Peter into repentance and back into relationship with God. The reason I really see this scene as the prodigal son moment is that father is relentlessly pursuing his daughter, did everything to get her back. And in the prodigal son, it says that as soon as he's approaching his father and his father saw him, his father ran towards him and then embraced him. I see that parallel with the embracing, but not just the embrace, but rather the humiliation of a first century Jew as an old man to be running is showing us that sort of love and humility of God, that through his only begotten son, he did everything to save us. You know, Liam Neeson did everything to save his daughter. How much more is God doing everything he possibly can to save us. You know, sometimes we think that God is out to catch us when we're in the worst part of our life. Be like, ha, told ya, see, you sinned, you're stuffed now. I gotcha. Busted, bro. You're done. God is looking for us. He's searching for us. He gave his only begotten Son for us. He's after your heart. He wants you back to be his son, to be his daughter, to be with his family in the church. He doesn't want us living with the swine. But he will allow us to live with the swine if that's what we choose. That is the agency of free will that we are endowed with. This free will is a blessing because we get to show God our love by our free will, and it's unfortunate for others where we use our free will to distance ourselves from God. The end scene of Taken for me is a reminder of how relentlessly God pursues each and every one of us, no matter how broken, how tired, how exhausted we are from this life of sin, that He's always waiting for us. He's always there. And that we need to be encouraged and never feel that there is a situation or an amount of times that has taken us so far away from God that we are beyond repair, that we are beyond redemption. Rather, we look at figures in the gospel and say, even the right-hand thief who lived his whole entire life away from God, who at the last moment when he is dying next to the Son of God, asks him to remember him in his kingdom, and that Christ says, today you will be with me in paradise. And it's just that one call out that we need to do that will bring us back into relationship with God, and then start our journey of building ourselves back up closer to God and in communion with him. I hope you guys like this movie breakdown. Now, if you have a movie suggestion, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to do a more contemporary movie maybe. These last few movies I've done have been a bit older, but maybe if there's new movies you guys recommend that you think will resonate with people, please do comment. And if you think this style of video is going to help someone, please share it with a friend. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you.